And we're back, ladies and gentlemen. You're watching Arnold Hellnet News, the only news you ever need because you have no other choice. And this is AHN on the go edition, where my better half is not here to co-host me. She wanted for family. She didn't want to wait, but don't worry. I got Gengar. Gengar is going to co-host with me today on AHN, where I'm happy to say this is the most hyped character of all time. Everyone's been saying, where is my Princess Nisa? We don't got the funny air horn effect. That's the best I got on the go there. Princess Nisa, in case you guys missed it, this was announced in the road ahead that gave us our official confirmation, although we knew it for the longest time, of the Galactic Legends Leia Organa, and she will be required for Leia Organa. So despite how this character is going to pan out for the Ewoks, they're kind of hyping this up and saying that the Ewoks going to be increasing in their meta rankings, which doesn't say much, but hey, Captain Rex took the Phoenix from 0 to hero. Maybe this will do the same. We'll get into it, but despite how bad or good this character is, it will be required at a very, I love how they put Murder Bear in parentheses, but it will be needed at Relic 7 down the road. So put that on your radar, and let's just get into it, I guess. I gotta say, there's not many Star Wars characters I don't know about. This is one of those characters I didn't know much about. I think it mostly was featured in the cartoon series of some sort. I don't know much about it. For those that are Princess Nisa fans, I'm happy for you. I glanced through it, I looked at it. I'm not seeing anything overtly that seems nutty, but keep in mind, we'll remind you guys of some of the Ewok things, especially since they're always assisting. I could see this team being better. It's just hard to tell. It wasn't like Captain Rex, where it's like, oh wow, this looks great. It looks good. I'm not sure what it's looking like right now. There's a few things going on with Ewoks that were good. They have a lot of turn meter gains. They have a lot of assisting, but they literally feel like they're throwing sticks and stones and do no damage. Well, they're fixing some of that. They're fixing survivability, the damage. They're also going to be doing true damage, which should ignore defense and help out a little bit. We'll check all this other stuff later on in regards to the kit inspiration and whatnot. I want to get straight into it. So Rock Sling. So remember, Ewoks are assisting a ton. This is kind of a big deal. So make sure we emphasize this a little bit. Basic, Rock Sling. Deal physical damage to target enemy. For each critical hit scored, Nisa attacks again, which stacks to a maximum of 2. Then when she attacks again this way, she is immune to bonus turn meter gain. So basically making the Chirpa lead not feed her any sort of turn meter. So kind of slowing her down a little bit. So remember, she's going to be always assisting. So she could possibly hit, max 2 times. So she could hit 2 times, hopefully. And if it's doing true damage, you don't know what the damage is looking like on this character. It could be pretty helpful. Kind of hard to say right now. So keep that in mind. She's going to be assisting up there. And, let's read that unique ability. There's a lot more cooking here. But we got to get to that special one. A special one ability. Danga! Ewoks! Cooldown of 3. We got another mass cleanse. So Ewok Elder was the other mass cleanse. It's going to be interesting. Who are we going to kick out of the Ewok team? I mean, it's kind of hard to say who the weakest was. I mean, Logray feels good, right? I mean, Chirpa's kind of needed. It's the only good leader for the team. I mean, do you kick out Elder? I mean, Poplu kind of seems needed. I mean, this might be kicking out Elder because she's got a cleanse ability on her kit. Call target Ewok to assist and deal physical damage to target enemy and inflict speed down for 2 turns. And then all Ewok allies gain critical chance up for 2 turns and recover 10% health. We're going to go over a lot of this stuff, but this is going to be great for Wicket. Wicket loves critical hits, as we're going to discuss. This is going to be kind of a big deal to help out Wicket. Well, yeah, we'll highlight some of these things later on. And then we have, I love this, yup, nub, baby. Cooldown of 4. It's got a Zeta ability, a special number 2. Deal physical damage to all enemies. Stun the target. I mean, I love the animation of this too, by the way. Getting the little trebuchet, throwing some rock action. I love it. Stun target enemy for 1 turn or remove 100% turn meter. I'm guessing it's just from the target enemy. And Princess Nisa gains critical damage up for 2 turns. So there's a lot of critical chance, stacking, critical damage. Maybe she's going to hit hard. We got to wait and see. It's hard for me. The Ewoks weren't the craziest team in the game really ever. So it's kind of hard for me to get too excited, but I'm loving the animations on this. It's the unique ability where things get really interesting, and it's quite a simple kit overall, but it's a pretty big unique ability. It's got an Omicron tied to territory wars, so likely something I won't apply, but maybe you guys might be more interested. We do have a Grand Arena Omicron for Chief Chirpa, so it would have been nice if this was for Grand Arena 2. But anyways, the Bright Tree Village Omicron final text. Nisa has plus 20% critical chance, plus 50% defense and max health, and 40% tenacity, so pretty durable, it seems like. And then the other Ewoks, they're going to get 15% defense, 20% max health, and potency. Ewoks are already kind of a decent, they're semi-durable. I don't think they're the most durable team, but this is going to help them out a little bit. But here's where things get interesting. They've been really exploring this damage over time thing. Tuskens have been. really scary. They're not the fastest team, but they just sit there and watch you die, and they eat their popcorn, laughing at your demise. Whenever an Ewok ally attacks out of turn, which is like all the time, inflict a stack of damage over time to target enemy for 1 turn. And then whenever any other Ewok ally attacks at a turn, they deal true damage. So we have damage over time. They should be assisting a lot, helping out with damage. And as you know, Tuskens, once you got like 20 stacks of damage over time in you, which isn't too hard to build up, you kind of just die, and you're like, oh, well, craps. I think, don't ignore that. I think the damage over time might be more impressive than the true damage itself, especially if you're running a turn meter train, which they kind of got a little bit of that. That could be deadly. That might be the biggest highlight of the kit. And then whenever another Ewok ally uses a special ability, Nisa assists. So she's always going to be assisting. And when she's hitting twice, she's attacking out of turn twice. And again, damage over time twice. So she's going to get a lot of damage over time since she's assisting so much on her basic. And then whenever an enemy attacks an ally, Nisa gains Retribution for 1 turn, 5% turn, and all Ewok allies recover 5% else. That's where you're going to get some of the survivability aspect baked into this. And the Retribution, again, when she's attacking out of turn, you're getting damage over time on you, and she's getting Terminator to try to keep the train moving along. And then here's where something gets interesting. We had some anti-daze and anti-ability block baked with the Captain Rex and the Phoenix. Whenever an Ewok ally is dazed or stunned, they gain Foresight and Protection. The issue I have here is when you get stunned, Foresight does not work. You just ignored the Foresight, but the Protection Up still applies. 100% Protection Up is huge. And remember, max health, that's how Protection Up is based. Protection Up goes off your max health. So for 100% protection, basically taking all of your health and throwing it in the protection slot. So the durability is pretty big here. I'm noticing that right away. The durability and the damage over time are kind of the biggest kickers here. And then all Ewok ally gains 50% defense stacking for the rest of the encounter. So the more you hit them, their defense just keeps going up and up and up. It doesn't reset at the end of the next turn or something like that. So the durability is going to be kind of nuts. And, that's going to help out a lot. If they're going to try to keep things moving, they got to survive as long as possible. It's kind of interesting. They're not like pumping turn meter like Captain Rex. They're kind of going that Wookiee route. They're going the Tusken route. It's going to be interesting to see how this actually pans out. And then whenever an Ewok ally is critically hit, they gain 5% offense stacking until the end of their turn. And that's where we're seeing a lot of that critical chance up. It's going to benefit all the Ewoks trying to get as much critical damage out there, boosting up their offense because, again, they kind of hit pretty weak. But now it's going to increase, and they ignore defense through true damage. So that should be good. And then also, of course, Wicket likes that as well. And then Wild Territories. So if you want to throw on the Omicron, here's what you're getting. It sounds good, right? Nisa has 95% critical chance, 25% extra critical damage, 10% max health, and then 10 speed for each other Ewok ally. So she was going to get 40 extra speed right there. It sucks it's just for her, and it's immune to daze and stun, and at the start of the battle, she gains critical chance up and critical damage up for 2 turns and 100% turn meter. So boom, right out the get-go, kind of like a Mara Jade Omicron almost. So Hux can stop this, of course. But allied Ewoks gain 10% offense. But then now we got some interesting stuff. When they're getting a buffs, Ewoks, when the Ewok ally gains a buff, which is like almost all the time, every time they're assisting, there's some sort of buff going on, Princess Nisa recovers 10% health and protection. So it's really just kind of helping her out for the most part. But let's stick with me. Whenever an Ewok ally is inflicted with a debuff, they recover 10% health and gain 5% turn meter. All right. So remember, they have anti-daze already baked into this, so it's not like you could stop that, kind of like Seer Junda sort of. Whenever an Ewok ally assists, reduce target enemy's critical damage by 5% stacking. Interesting. For 3 turns. And then whenever Nisa attacks, her cooldowns are reduced by 1. So, yeah. Basically, what this is kind of showing, if you throw in that Omicron, she should pretty much always be spamming some sort of special ability, since she's going to always be attacking. It doesn't say during her turn, it just says when she attacks, so it should include attacks out of turn. So, overall, we got to wait and see. I don't want to, Captain Rex was really hype, and he turned out to be really good. This seems to be a step in the right direction for the Ewoks to make them a little bit better. And they also kind of say that in here, that this should lift their meta rankings when you read through all this stuff. So I gotta wait and see, but I want to read this too. Why don't the extra attacks from her basic gain turn meter when that's the whole deal? The Chirpa team will check this out. You want her base to provide a burst of damage to help with the death by a paper cut feel for them, but having Terminator from each critical was getting a bit too much. Oh, it's into infinite train land, and they don't like that stuff. And here they say here, working on Princess Nisa has been fun. My heart nearly exploded when I found out I was going to design her. Ewoks have always been my favorite creature species in the Star Wars galaxy. Without giving away too much, expect Nisa to raise Ewoks' power level, lift their meta rankings. Yeah, I mean, maybe. It very well could be something that's going to be nice to have. It's going to be definitely a step in the right direction. I can't imagine why it wouldn't be a step. in the right direction, but we kind of gotta wait and see if that's really where we're gonna be heading with all this stuff here. So remember, when we have Chief Chirpa lead, you're gonna be constantly getting assists on the Chief Chirpa leads. Let's do like a brief little reminder. I know it's been quite a minute here. With the simple tactics, before you throw on all that Omicron shenanigans here, you're gonna get the 20% turn meter and a 20% turn meter and deal 10% more damage whenever they perform a basic attack, which is gonna be like all the time. So again, that's why Nisa can't get turn meter out of basic. These effects are halved for other allies, and then whenever an Ewok ally uses a special ability, 60% chance to call another random Ewok ally to assist. And you know, we gotta wait and see. There might be some legitimacy to throwing on this Omicron for Grand Arena if you care about that. To get the extra 30 speed, Ewok allies deal additional 40% more damage of basic abilities, and that's gonna pair off great with Nisa, which is nice. And then you got the 40% chance to assist, which is basically a 100% chance to assist when using a special ability. So this is looking a lot better. I'm having a hard time like hyping myself up on this. But I have a feeling this team's gonna surprise me more than I anticipated. And then let's look at Wicked as well. Remember, Wicked loves critical chance up shenanigans. Deal physical damage to all enemies. Ewok allies get 10% turn meter for each critical hit scored. He's gonna be landing a lot of critical hits. The Nisa unique ability is gonna be doing a lot of great things to it. So on paper, it's moving the right direction. Is it gonna be Phoenix Tusken level? Is it gonna be kind of like the Wookiees, where the Wookiees are like, it's usable, but it's not like anything that's gonna blow our minds away? They're saying they're gonna lift the meta rankings, which I expect. How high? I don't know. I'm gonna pass the ball over to you guys out there. Thank you all so much for coming out today. Me and my buddy Gengar, we're signing out. We'll be back on Thursday. Don't you worry to test out this bad girl. See what she's all about. But until we meet again, my friends, always remember, dang, you guys are amazing, but it's also great to be the Empire today. See you later.